answer whatever questions you've got.
So that's a great resource, guys, ladies. Utah Low. Anything else you want to share? Is that it?
I'm good.
You're all filled up.
We'll put your link on our HuntNDivas website.
Yeah, we'll put that on.
And they'll be able to, if you go to HuntNDivas, you will also see how to get to the Utah connection with your website. So we'll definitely connect you with that. And anybody out there that has ever wanted to be naked and afraid and do some hunting, you're at the right place because you got the right people that are going to show you how to go naked and
not be afraid.
Not be afraid. And we have Brooke. I had to say that because anyone out there listening, I want you to come and listen how to be naked and afraid or not afraid and hunt. This is Brooke Wright.
So tell us how you got into it, Brooke.
All right, thank you. Honestly, I didn't grow up, with a hunting background. I actually grew up in the outdoors. I grew up on a small ranch, riding and training horses. I did a lot of endurance riding, trail riding, just being, outdoors. But my parents weren't big hunters, but I was definitely savvy with guns. And it wasn't until I went off, finished college, and I wasn't happy with just sort of the status quo. I wanted to push myself further. So I went on, I did a lot of mountain summits. I spent 7 years training to get my second degree certification in black belt in Taekwondo, for the real reason that I wanted to help, not just feel empowered myself, but to help encourage and inspire and develop that self-confidence in other women as well. So with that, again, I wanted to push myself to even further limits. And it wasn't until I met my husband, Matt Wright, who you may have seen without his clothes on.
Yeah,
He was showing me afraid.
He's been afraid 4 times, right?
4 times now.
4 times he's been
I don't even know you with clothes on. Just get naked and we'll see you.
So you'll actually see him on an upcoming episode on March 24th, so tune in. But, I didn't have any background in, really, like I said, hunting. But it wasn't until he took me down Florida and an extra alligator tag, and that's where I learned how to bow
You got that sick picture of
and bow fish. And that was not my first gator, but that was year after last.
I want some boots.
Got some gator boots right now.
Yeah. Gator, that's delicious. What's that?
Can we make boots out of that gator?
Make anything you want out of that. Purses, shoes, belts, whatever. Alligator's fantastic, but it was from that moment that I harvested my very first alligator with a bow that it was like a light click.
You did like the hardest thing ever right out of the tree, man.
You just shoot right for the dangerous game. Go right to it first.
Go right for it.
That's right.
What happens when you miss?
Well, how do you go from shooting a gator right to the danger to naked and afraid? I just want to know.
Well, I was like, well, if I can take on an alligator, I can take on even, bigger challenges. And that's when I decided, after hearing all the stories that my husband's had, after all of these challenges and all his experiences and the dangers that he encountered, I was like, you know what, it's my turn. And, and I've spent years, becoming a better bow hunter, not just with, recurve and now learning a compound, but I started off with a longbow. And so on the show, if you're familiar with the concept of the show, you get one item, and that's it. The rest is up to you for 21 days to make shoes if you can, rope, source your water, make clothes, get your own food, right? So I'm with my partner who happens to also be from Colorado. May not be very proud of him, but I went on there again with my background in martial arts and having strong mentality and feeling empowered and self-confident that I could take on this challenge. I would say I did a lot better than my partner did. You certainly, when you go into a hunting situation, and I went to Africa with the intent of hunting, and I did get my bow, and I can't say what I was able to procure as food, but I will say that I filled up my big pot with some delicious animal, something, and I'm the first woman in the show's history to not only take a bow, but to be successful and actually harvest
That's cool.
protein. So it was a lot of perseverance, a lot of determination, and you'll see my newest episode on March 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Discovery Channel, so please tune in. But I encourage any of you ladies out there, if you're novice to hunting, and reach out to a friend, a mentor, any of these ladies. They're all great resources, and certainly if you're ever interested in taking a survival class, Matt and I have our booth back on 1437. We also make custom knives and take people out on adventures.
The word I keep hearing, I heard you say, was push myself, and I think that's the thing. We say encourage, but push yourself, whatever. But just to go outside the norm and do something you're a little afraid of. And maybe start out with just a camping trip and being outdoors and going to the bathroom on the ground. I mean, it's simple things like that that sometimes keep ladies out. We have a mapping business, so we equip people with maps so they're not afraid to get lost and all those things. But yeah, I thank you for your story.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Anything else you want to share?
If you're ever interested, if you ever want more information, just visit extremeinstinct.com.
There you go.
And you'll see some great stuff from Matt and I. And if you ever have any questions, just feel free to reach out.
And we can link that to our HuntNDivas too. We're getting quite the following and stuff, so we can link Extinct on ours. And man, we appreciate that. So all you ladies, when you want to get into it, just jump off the cliff and go to Naked and Afraid. Come on. You'll survive. You can learn survival skills. I mean, literally, you'll have to figure it out, right?
Yeah, they asked me to be on Naked and Afraid, but I'm too afraid.
I gotta throw this in.
Sure.
Matt and Brooke, we've had a nice chance to visit with these guys here. But I'm sure when you signed a contract with the Sportsman ISC, did they tell you you had to wear clothes? Because I would have fought and said I do not want. I want to wear my satchel and I want to wear my leaves.
I gotta say the afraid part is being a naked, and I'm not a naked person. I don't like nudity, so I like my clothes and I like to be warm.
Yeah,
so.
That's really what it came down to.
It didn't take much to convince me to wear clothes.
Just listening to their stories of all the bugs and the plants, and I mean, just imagine going out into our forest naked and all the things that can get on you, and just listening to Matt almost losing his foot, and I mean, it is just unbelievable, their stories. But we have so appreciated you guys, and they're our Colorado neighbors, so.
Yeah, she was right by me.
Because the crow flies, we are literally neighbors.
Right,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So we might be seeing each
so
other
much
down the trail, huh?
All right. We have Miss Wonnacott. Garcia. Yeah, give it up.
Hi. I'm going to stay sitting if that's all right.
That's all right.
Well, my name's Wonnacott. I got through hunting through my boyfriend, who's in the audience here, who got me into it.
Gay boyfriend, CJ.
Yes.
Are you in a Duck Dynasty? You look like a
Oh.
Duck Dynasty.
There you go.
I just messing with you.
Sorry about that. No, you're totally fine. Yes, so he got me into hunting when we met. I was just a city girl. He says I'm still a city girl. I can just hunt now. So he took this picture here. This was our last day of the goose hunt. Beautiful sunset. Yeah, so he got me into waterfowl, hunting big game with my bow. When I first knew that I wanted to pick it up, he's been a great mentor as far as showing me the ropes and kind of getting me started. But we got to a point where, as a woman, there was a lot of things he couldn't teach me because he was a man, So I started outsourcing other women to hunt with and to learn from. So I came across Wild Arrows Women Archery. So I joined that league, made tons of friendships through there. And then after meeting friends through there, heard about the women's hunting camp that you guys might know, so I met them, went through that camp, met a lot of other women, met Connie Brooks through Barnes Bullets, Leslie, she does a lot of pistol shooting, got into that, as well as Angie. Actually, I reached out to her and I'm like, I want to come and meet other women, I want to come shoot with you, hunt with you. So it's been great, met a lot of, like I said, friends that also got into shooting. Now I feel like I wanted to be more independent. I didn't want to always, depend on my boyfriend to take me, to show me. And so I've learned a lot without him, which has been great, because when we go together, then he can trust me to be on my own a little bit more. So,
And the thing that you just said is to be more independent, and we find that a lot with ladies. We'll take them out, and we had one lady who called in a bull, and it was a smaller bull, so she was going to pass, but Lisa said, hey, why don't you just go ahead and pretend, keep it on safety, but just get in your scope and just pretend like you're going to take the shot, so you've already gone through that scenario.
Yes.
Well, we watched her, Lisa's looking at her, and she didn't have the eye relief on her scope. We saw her head bobbing around, and we're like, what's going on? She goes, well, my husband cited it in. And one of the things, it's easy for us to say that, but it is our responsibility at the end of the day. And so that's where we're wanting to push them out there and counter and encourage them.
Exactly. Well, like I said, there's, as a man, you know, they can only show you and teach you what they know and how they do it. And struggles as women is going to be different, whether you're shooting a rifle or you're, you know,
Just the butt of the scope.
yeah, a bow. Yeah. And so I was like, when I started, I'm like, am I the only one that, is this not for me? Am I the only one that struggles this way? You know, so-and-so's wife does it different or is having more success. And so I'm like, I gotta meet more women that go through this. And social media is a huge thing. I was telling Courtney, who's in the audience, I've been following her for a long time, you know, and other women that I've met, Serena Thompson as well. Yes, she got me, you know, feeling more comfortable with rifles, and it's really amazing how the women hunting community, it's pretty big. You just might have to take that extra step and outsource them, you know. Hey, can I, you know, especially with Angie can attest to that. I messaged her and I'm like, I want to come do this, and I actually met her through Erin because she had done the hunting academy with her, and so then you just meet more people and you get exposed more, and it helps you.
If you do want to go on a coyote hunt, you can throw it out there and network with your ladies and find somebody to go with you.
Exactly. Yes. So
I'm kind of a gun collector. I actually don't have a gun that I don't use. So when I mean collecting, then I buy guns, but I use them. I love my bows too, but I don't own a gun that I haven't had cut. I don't even shoot it before I have it cut for me, because honestly they were mostly made for men and big men, and even my brother who's smaller stature. But the thing is if you pick up a rifle and you don't have a clear scope, the moment you pick it up, it doesn't fit you. It either you get a cut or you get the scope adjusted. But what happens is you adjust the scope so much you still can't get into it. You should never have to be bobbing. And to teach women that later in life, even with Donnelle, she didn't realize she was left-eye dominant, because nobody ever taught him, are you left or right-eye dominant? And these are things that we, and nothing just with women, but we do it with guys, but you just get a gun and they say here or whatever, and having a network like this is awesome because you can text or whatever, email. So this is great. You guys are already there. You're already equipping and you're getting empowered after you're getting it, and you're finding an encounter. So that's what we hope for.
Time. There's so much great equipment and so many great places. Thank you, Monica. Give it up for Monica. Thank you. Nice bugle right for the family.
I
That was
know, right? Perfect timing.
So we met you, Stacey, yesterday or the day before. Yesterday. Time flies when you're at the show, right? It's Friday, so go ahead and start talking about yourself. Let us know a little bit more about you.
Well, as Donnelle said, my name is Stacey.